Electronic Vocabulary, Lesson 1. This vocabulary will be part of a video series where I will be doing projects from Alinco's Electronic Playground Model EP50. AC, common abbreviation for alternating current. A current that is constantly changing. Amplitude, strength or level of something. AM, abbreviation for amplitude modulation. The amplitude of the radio signal is varied depending on the information being sent. Ampere. The abbreviation for ampere is A, the unit of measure for electric current. It is commonly shortened to amp. Analogy, a similarity in some way. AND gate, a type of digital circuit which gives a high output only if all of its inputs are high. Antenna, inductors used for sending or receiving radio signals. Astable multivibrator, a type of transistor configuration in which only one transistor is on at a time. Atom, the smallest particle of a chemical element. It is made up of electrons, protons, etc. Audio, electrical energy representing voice or music. Base, the controlling input of an NPN bipolar junction transistor. Battery, a device which uses a chemical reaction to create an electrical charge across a material. Bias, the state of the DC voltages across a diode or transistor. Bipolar junction transistor, the abbreviation is BJT, a widely used type of transistor. Bistable switch, also known as a flip-flop, a type of transistor configuration. Capacitance, the ability to store electric charge. Capacitor, an electrical component that can store electrical pressure voltage for periods of time. Carbon, a chemical element used to make resistors. Clockwise, in the direction in which the hands of a clock rotate. Quiz. The answers will follow the slide. What does each abbreviation stand for? Number 1, BJT. Number 2, A. Number 3, AM. Number 4, AC. Answers. Number 1 was bipolar junction transistor. Number 2 was ampere. Number 3 was amplitude modulation. Number 4 was alternating current. Fill in the words. Number 1, blank, strength or level of something. Number 2, a type of digital circuit that only gives a high output if all of its inputs are high. Number 3, a widely used type of transistor is a blank. Number 4. A chemical element used to make resistors is blank. Number 5. A current that is constantly changing is a blank. Answers. Number 1 is amplitude. Number 2 is AND gate. Number 3 is bipolar junction transistor. Number 4 is carbon. Number 5 is alternating current, or AC. Fill in the words. Number 1. A blank blank is also known as a flip-flop. Number 2, when something is going in the direction in which the hands of a clock rotate, it is going blank. Number 3, what does amp stand for? Number 4, a similarity in some way is known as an blank. Number 5, the smallest part of a chemical element made up of protons and electrons is the blank. Answers. Number 1 is bistable switch. Number 2 is clockwise. Number 3 is ampere. Number 4 is analogy. Number 5 is atom. Choose the correct word. Number 1, the capacitor. Capacitance is the ability to store electric charge. Number 2, a battery capacitor is a device which uses a chemical reaction to create an electric charge across a material. Number 3, AM antenna is the amplitude of the radio signal is varied depending on the information being sent. Number 4, a type of transistor configuration in which only one transistor is on at a time is known as a stable multivibrator or bias. Number 5, an electrical component that can store electrical pressure voltage for periods of time is an ampere or capacitor. Answers. Number 1 is capacitance. Number 2 is battery. Number 3 is AM. Number 4 is astable multivibrator. Number 5 is capacitor. Fill in the words. Number 1 is the unit, blank is the unit of measure for electric current. Number 2, blank is electrical energy representing a voice or music. Number 3, blank the state of DC voltages across a diode or transistor. Number 4, the controlling input of an NPN bipolar junction transistor is a blank. Answers. Number 1 is ampere. Number 2 is audio. Number 3 is bias. Number 4 is base. Questions. Number 1. What is the shortened term for ampere? Number 2. Blank blank is when the amplitude of the radio signal is varied depending on the information being sent. Number 3. Inductors used for sending or receiving radio signals are blank. Number 4. A bistable switch is also known as a blank. Answers. Number 1 is amp. Number 2 is amplitude modulation. Number 3 is antenna. Number 4 is flip-flop. Finis. Oops.